Alright, last video, not too bad. I kind of liked it. So, you know what? Instead of doing what I was going to do, I went and re-recorded everything in a male voice, and that way then I can go in, do a little bit of work and see which one I like better. I'm thinking overall I'm going to be doing a female narration, and then for the male, I'll see if there's times where any guys are saying anything that if it makes sense and it works, then maybe I'll splice it up and do something fancy like that. But for now, not doing that. I'm just going to continue from the last video. Let's go. Wait. Any notes I gotta make, I'm just gonna put them in the notes. I don't have to say it in this whole like form factor and stuff. So there you go. Bye.
A chorus of noise assaulted her all at once. The sound reminded her of the battle arcade the warrior men set up for the young ones. Nothing at all like what one would expect from a kitchen run by Brash. Quiet when at work, he was warden and executioner of any who would disrupt his flow. A state the kitchen women would often compare to a function of their own biology, mocking him as best they may. For what else could they do? The man will cook for everyone except the adult women, a historical first for the house, leaving the other men to handle preparing ingredients and forging the occasional worn-out plate or cup. The women's kitchen became more of a meeting room for discussion or gossip than necessary for the running of the grounds. Though less than 50 rats, the 5 women who've chosen to run the kitchens used to struggle to feed every age every meal, let alone have time to manage lessons for the lot, and wash the clothing of the 22 girls under their own care. Before he arrived, the meals were very often a test of patience. Some of the younger ones would always end up refusing a meal, and the older children would pick at their food with very little enthusiasm. Instead, they would socialize, with childish pestering leading to fights among those closest to leaving the grounds that would leave the floor littered in the soft and crumbly remains of their cups and plates. Firing new ones every meal was exhausting for everyone. But now, you would hear nothing but the sound of food being devoured. No longer did the little ones complain, nor did the older ones have time to argue. They would finish their meals and go off with renewed drive toward whatever stood before them that day. Perhaps what insulted the women the most was that Brash had gotten to trade a Grellis. Under normal circumstances, Gal would have refused to believe that any of them could keep something to themselves. They had never kept secrets, as though the idea itself was unfathomable. Grellis III was said to go so far as to answer questions by singing outlandishly long and detailed songs and poems about how she learned the information. It was known to everyone that if you had something to keep hidden, you should never tell it to a trader. She thinks the saying must have originated with Grellis I, but to the point, Grellis VI would not share the ingredients he collected for Brash. We go way back, and I owe him a life debt. He saved our eldest from a bad spot, and he's been a good friend to our family for many years. I know how he is about his food, so I can't say nothin' more. It would be much simpler if the head of the women's kitchen were of a softer temperament. Upon meeting Brash for the first time, the man had prepared a few meals as a courtesy, but she chose that very moment of goodwill to offer very harsh critique of his dishes. She would think of herself as consumed with regaining her position as best in the house, but it was clear to everyone else that she was completely in love with the man. But from the bumpy beginnings, things have only progressed negatively. As Garliette moves down the short hallway, it occurs to her that she's lightly pressing one foot upon the ground before the other. What's gotten into me, she thinks before straightening her back and clearing her throat. Her intention was to announce herself and demand they show the boy to her, but a loud, hum, behind her nearly made her jump out of her skin. With her vision finally adjusting to the dim light within the hallway, she turns, only to find herself blinded again. No bother having tar dress down Virion if it's you. What mission did you press upon him? How does your mad beard not shed throughout the entire kitchen? She says, as she takes a step away to disentangle herself. Because it knows better. Answer, or I'll tell your pretty brothers in perfect detail how I caught you sneaking in here like you meant to make off with the child in a flour sack. He'll be teaching a class in the morning, she says in a mumble. It's only an hour, but more urgently I must inform you that he called you an old one. I am old. His lack of respect is mutual in any case. How a man could throw a blade makes zero bloody sense to me. But you did walk right by me without a single notice, so nothing seems impossible anymore. But I'll make a cook of him if it kills him. Your passion is an inspiration, now, can I? No. Go away. But a grin spreads itself upon his face as he says, "We've already named him." "No, you did not." "You're right, it's more truthful to say your man Grellis named him." "I'll kill him." "You won't. And he didn't do it with intention in any case." Says, "Make sure the lad's hearty and hale," and since then when we ask the boy's name he keeps singing the words, hearty and hale. He seems born with the hearty bit, so our wish for the lad is that he be hale. Garliet says, "I am defeated. Today is proving to be irksome. Do you intend to keep him with the men?" "We could, and probably should, but this turn we've got men better suited for war than childcare. No one would deny that the system you women have done up with, haven't you kept those rats alive for years longer than most of 'em out there?" "You mean it? I would think a man of war would find our way too loosey-goosey." "I don't know the last words, but I get your meaning, and yes. It should not work, and I don't know how it does, but they leave here strong. ... If you let me at least see the boy." "Hale." "Yes. I will help you with your heart condition." "My what?" "Miss Dewelve, I believe." "What can you do?" "A lot. Now let me in." "I do not trust your mind. What exactly will you do?" "I'll tell her the story of how you named the boy." "But I didn't. I'll not have you lied to." "You'll just have to tell the story to her, properly, over dinner. I doubt that she often hears such things about you, and I couldn't, not over dinner. When she looks at me, my strength fails. I'm saying I'll figure something out. She's just not the easiest to talk to. Go in, but we have a deal." "I swear to it." "Thank you, brah. Get a move on." Okay, all right." Pulling open the door to the kitchens could only be described by Galliette, as though she were entering the heavens. The room was a spotless and shining white, and the reflection of the tube lights running along the ceiling instantly blinded her as she entered past the pitch-black hallway. It was only for a second, but the noise within made it feel longer. She blinks a few times and she comes to see 5 men staring at her with shit-eating grins on their faces. Galliette looks from corner to corner of the room, and doesn't see the boy at all. Before her mouth could open, the meme broke out in laughter from the absolute dumbfounded expression on her face. And then they sang, "Hearty and Harley, hearty and hale." They repeated the words with sharply rising and falling inflection, changing between a soft, almost girlish pitch to a low, deep rumble. "Where is he? Brash, get in here please." "Ah, that was quick. Your man Yaston took the lad through the underground to the matron then, it seems." "I was told he was on the way." "Brash couldn't have known, they left seconds ago." "Deal's a deal." "Fuck. Any luck I could go through and—" "None. Ain't no light down there, and we got no one to spare tar guide ya. Normally we wouldn't take a lad that young through, but when we heard Yaston he ran right into the tunnel. Yars has got him, but it doesn't seem to bother him a bit. The dark, I mean." "What was he like?" "Is telling you a part of this deal I heard you making with the big man." "It is not," Brash says. "I got it, I'm going." Break.